Desperation in Gaza shows no signs of abating. In one of its main cemeteries, there's no more space to bury the dead, according to its caretaker. A Palestinian-American doctor in Rafah says the healthcare system is, quote, completely destroyed. This as Israel refuses to send a delegation to the ceasefire talks in Cairo, where Egyptian, Qatari and US mediators are meeting. Meanwhile, the Israeli opposition leader, Benny Gantz, has flown to Washington for meetings with the vice president of the White House, as well as other senior Biden administration officials. Gantz is also a member of Netanyahu's war cabinet. Here to discuss all of this is former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak. He's been a prominent critic of the government's handling of this war, and recently he's called for early general elections in Israel. He's joining me from Tel Aviv. Welcome back to our program, Prime Minister.
Thank you for having me.
So I want to just get from you a sense of what went through your mind when your greatest ally was forced to airdrop pallets of whatever, military rations, only 38,000, because the greatest ally, Israel, refuses to allow the proper entry of aid to Gaza. What went through your mind as you saw this come to this?
It's a surrealistic picture that should not have happened to start with, but it happened. It's sad to say, and there was a much more painful and sad event on the ground the day before. So I think that we should make sure that the mistakes that were done a few days ago during the event that led to the loss of lives of 100 people, probably not from Israeli fire, but anyhow, we are the only force there. So we have to find a way to let food and especially food and other needs, medical needs and whatever, coming into the Gaza Strip on the ground, not through the air. It's totally ineffective, and you cannot provide even 300,000 people in the northern part of Gaza from the air.
Yeah.
It should come from the ground and through Israel.
Yeah, so look, I want to ask you, you are also not just a former prime minister, a former defense secretary, a former chief of staff of the army. I mean, you've held very important positions. So would you agree, because this is why we're at this point, Yoav Gallant, the current defense minister, on October 9th said, I have ordered a complete siege on the Gaza Strip. There will be no electricity, no food, no fuel. Everything is closed. Is that the way you would have waged a war, even against your most vicious enemies?
Look, I believe that he stated here many weeks ago, probably months ago.
Yes, but it's still happening.
No, it's not still happening. It's now there is certain flow of products into the Gaza Strip. Basically, it's a kind of taken, some of it taken by Hamas, some other taken it and then traded. It's short of being perfect. It should be enlarged, probably significantly. It could enter through Egypt for the southern part, but has to go through Israel to the northern part, and we have to correct it, make it clear that we will not let a humanitarian disaster develop in the Gaza when we are de facto controlling most of it.
Well, exactly. And let's just say again, you generally drop airdrops into hostile states, not into states controlled by your best allies. So this is just unbelievable. And also, as you know, it's expensive and inefficient. So all of this is leading to a very, very marked loss of prestige, loss of acceptance, loss of whatever, people around the world for Israel. Right now, Benny Gantz is on his way to the United States to meet with the White House. This is what Kamala Harris said over the weekend.
The threat of Hamas poses to the people of Israel must be eliminated. And given the immense scale of suffering in Gaza, there must be an immediate ceasefire.
So she added there must be an immediate ceasefire for at least the next 6 weeks. Your government, or the Israeli government, has refused to send people to the current talks. Do you know why, and where do you think any ceasefire is headed?
Look, I see the ceasefire is tightly connected to the need to have hostages release.
Right.
And I don't know all the details of this, the talks, what exactly is exchanged. So I cannot make you a kind of clear and kind of firm commitment about what's going on. I know what we have to do, because until now, in spite of impressive, significant achievements of the IDF, the full reaching of the objective to make sure that Hamas doesn't reign in Gaza, cannot threaten Israel in Gaza, is still probably many months far. So that's the time to release the hostages and to do whatever could be done. I cannot dive into details because I don't know. It's a commitment, moral commitment and formal commitment. Those people who are now hostages were abandoned, deserted by our own government, and we cannot afford now, after deserting them, now sacrificing them for whatever objective. So it's clear to me that the hostage issue is not more important than getting rid of Hamas rule and military capabilities, but it's clearly more urgent. If we wait another few months until military objectives are achieved, they probably will be brought back in coffins, and that's not our dreams. So we should show certain flexibility and readiness to go and listen and to be ready. It would not achieve without certain compromises from both sides. And there is a heavy feeling that probably in our government, the man at the top, for sure he wants to see them released, but he has a personal necessity to appear as being strong, surrounded by softer people like Eisenkot or Gantz or like the heads of the Secret Service of the army. And in regard to achieve this picture that he was the one who, by his tougher position, twisted the arm of Hamas, he is ready to risk the very achievement of a deal and indirectly the fate of the hostages. And that's what I don't like about our behavior. I think we should be even more flexible in order to achieve a deal.
So, that's quite a clear point and quite a, clear criticism of this current prime minister. What do you make, and why do you think Benny Gantz is going to meet with top U.S. officials at the White House? Netanyahu did not want him to go. He's apparently, according to press reports, told the ambassador in Washington not to, facilitate or attend any of these meetings with Gantz. What do you think could be underway?
Look, the intimate relationship with the United States are critical for the very feasibility of Israel to achieve or complete this mission. We rely upon the United States for munitions to our tanks, artillery, even the interceptors of Iron Dome. We depended upon the United States to back us financially. We depend upon them to deter it from spreading into a regional war of attrition or even a full-scale war backed by Iran and probably behind them Russia within this axis of rogue states. We are dependent critically on the United States to protect us against a decision in the UN Security Council. And we even will need them at the future to help us to tackle the challenge of The Hague, the criminal court in The Hague. So we cannot win a regional war without having America on our side. So it's critical to coordinate. Now, for reasons that I cannot explain, Netanyahu did not allow the Minister of Defense, who is the natural member of cabinet, to go to the United States to coordinate with the Pentagon and the American.
Yeah. So
I cannot understand. So Gantz took the challenge and he's going there. He is well known there. He was Minister of Defense. He was head of the IDF. He knows the people. They know him. They appreciate him. They expect to hear from him a direct and honest report of the situation and discuss what should be done.